On that fateful Halloween night, the chilling aura of the holiday was heightened by the fact that I had just wrapped up my late shift at Wendy's in the heart of North Carolina. Exhaustion clung to me like a second skin, urging me to retreat to the comforts of my home. Yet fate had different plans, as the ominous empty sign on my car's fuel gauge flashed a stark warning. I was in desperate need of gas. The prospect of retracing my steps back toward work and away from home was an idea I loathed. I yearned to find a nearby gas station that would spare me the inconvenience of a return trip to my workplace. As the crimson haze of the Halloween night loomed before me, I ventured down an unfamiliar path in search of a haven for my parched vehicle. The haunting whispers of the wind seemed to resonate with my predicament, an unsettling undercurrent to this tale of terror. After a seemingly endless search, I eventually discovered a dimly lit gas station. Relief washed over me as I pulled into the station's eerie embrace, and I set about the task of filling my fuel tank. The sound of the gasoline gushing into my car's tank was the only comfort I had known that night. With the fueling task complete, I treaded hesitantly toward the gas station's convenience store. It was there that the ominous encounter of that night unfolded in a way that would forever haunt my memories. My eyes focused on the store's counter, and there, behind the cash register, lurked a figure unlike any other. The gas station clerk, or so I presumed, was veiled in a guise of malevolence. He met my gaze with an eerie stillness, his face concealed beneath a crude plastic vampire mask. This was not the playful disguise of a Halloween enthusiast. This was a harbinger of peril. In an attempt to defuse the oppressive atmosphere, I attempted a jest, speaking with a cavalier tone. "Trick or treat, bro, $20 on pump number 3. My words, however, were met with silence, a deafening absence of sound. The plastic mask remained fixed in place, as the stranger's hidden eyes locked onto mine, suffocating the air between us. A sense of dread washed over me like an impending storm, urging me to flee this unsettling situation. My suspicions deepened as I cast my gaze toward the cigarette display behind the counter, a memory of previous purchases. To my dismay, every pack had vanished, and the sinister truth began to materialize. I had unwittingly walked into a realm of criminality, a gas station heist in progress. Fear surged through my veins, and I was gripped by the chilling realization of the peril that surrounded me. The silence in the store weighed heavily, and the masked man offered no respite. The stillness of the moment congealed into a foreboding tension that I could no longer endure. Desperation set in, and I began to inch backward, hands raised in a plea for clemency. My every movement was measured, each step a calculated retreat from the malevolent figure behind the counter. I didn't wish to provoke this unknown entity or invite harm. In the stifling silence, I sought a chance to escape, a flicker of hope that the masked man might provide an opening, granting me safe passage from this nightmarish scene. With bated breath, I continued my retreat, silently urging the masked figure to release me from his sinister trance. However, the silence persisted, and the mask remained an impenetrable shield. I watched the masked stranger, every step solidifying the reality of my predicament, a circumstance that grew more ominous with each passing moment. Then, in an almost imperceptible movement, the stranger's gaze turned back to the register. The possibility that he might offer me an escape began to flicker. I inched backward, eager to seize the fleeting opportunity to flee. But it was a mirage, and the silent standoff continued. The seconds ticked by, each moment an eternity, until the masked man's attention returned to me. My hopes waned, replaced by a suffocating dread. The inevitability of a violent outcome loomed, its shadow growing darker. The malevolence of the situation tightened its grip on my racing heart. In that interminable silence, my world came to a standstill. It was a soundless void, a haunting silence that whispered a terror all its own. My muscles strained as I edged away, the quiet of the gas station an oppressive weight, a sign of the mounting danger that had surrounded me. With every step, my vision blurred, and I clumsily bumped into shelves and merchandise. My every action was a testament to my silent, yet frantic escape. My eyes remained locked on the masked man, vigilant for any sign, any word, any gesture that might signal a path to salvation. Then, in a single terrifying instant, the masked stranger revealed his malevolence. The plastic facade lifted, revealing the glint of a gun. My heart seemed to stop, my every nerve alight with fear. The gun, a malevolent presence, a lethal instrument of terror, was pointed directly at me. The world seemed to warp around me as a paralyzing fear took hold. My mind raced, filled with the primal instinct for self-preservation. My every thought was consumed by the urgent need to flee, to escape the unseen danger that lurked behind the plastic mask. I couldn't take my eyes off the menacing figure before me, nor could I disregard the imminent threat. In that breathless moment, my world transformed. The need to escape had overwhelmed me, urging me toward the door to safety. Panic coursed through my veins, and I sprinted as if my life depended on it, leaving the eerie quiet of the gas station behind. The sound of the gunshot was both deafening and piercing. It reverberated through the store, the echo of the violent act hanging heavy in the air. I felt the gunshot as much as I heard it, its visceral impact like a punch to the chest. It was a relentless reminder of the peril I had narrowly evaded. I ran, my heart pounding in my ears, away from the malevolent figure behind me. I dared not look back, not until I was well outside the store, my heart still echoing the roar of the gunshot. The masked man had not pursued me, and the gas station remained a distant backdrop to my escape. My need for immediate refuge was paramount, but a nagging concern lingered. I had left my phone in my car, a critical tool for alerting the authorities. The adrenaline coursing through my veins spurred me to venture back to the vehicle, though the thought of returning to the scene of the crime was an unwelcome one. With bated breath, I stepped out into the unknown, my sole objective clear: retrieve my phone and summon the police. I knew I couldn't leave without notifying the authorities, without ensuring that the masked assailant faced justice. The risk was great, and the possibility of being run over by an oblivious driver was ever present. The darkness of the night, my dark clothing, and the speeding cars heightened the peril. I found myself forced to flag down the slowest vehicle I could find. Waving my arms frantically in the darkness, my frantic gestures and wild plea for assistance caught the attention of a compassionate driver who had not yet succumbed to the speed of the night. With the driver's help, I called the police, recounting the terrifying events that had unfolded at the gas station. We waited at the side of the highway, hazard lights casting eerie, intermittent shadows in the inky darkness. The minutes stretched into hours, and my body continued to thrum with adrenaline, a relentless reminder of the peril I had narrowly escaped. The police arrived at the gas station, only to find it bereft of the masked intruder who had haunted that fateful Halloween night. They questioned me, but the reality was I had never seen the man's face. My ability to assist the authorities was limited, and my memory was forever marked by the specter of that sinister mask. In the days that followed, the gas station clerk endured his own ordeal, likely traumatized by the violent intrusion. The heinous actions of the masked robber had struck terror into my heart, an encounter I would never forget. The chilling thrill of having narrowly escaped a life-threatening situation remained etched in my memory, a haunting reminder of that sinister Halloween night. As the years have passed, I've continued to revisit that horrifying encounter. The inexplicable events of that night, the eerie silence, the chilling reveal of the firearm, and the gunshot echoing in the darkness are moments indelibly etched into my psyche. The thrill of escaping that malevolent presence remains an ever-present specter, a harrowing testament to the terrors that lurk beneath the surface of even the most mundane of nights.